And welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Lucas Johnson, and we are continuing with this UConn here offensive coordinator dynasty in NCAA 25, and we are going through the offseason here in this episode, and kind of doing something a little different. I'm recording straight from my PlayStation's microphone on the controller, so I can kind of do this live. I don't have to go back and edit as much. And so we'll see how quickly we can go through this offseason. But obviously, we're in the recruiting stage right now, and you start the offseason by seeing which players leave and transfers and everything. And I was originally recording that part of the offseason, and then there was an issue that my game went into. The game crashed on me, and I had to back out and had to go back into it again, and the recording got deleted as well. So you guys didn't see any of that stuff here with the players leaving, but I already kind of pointed out which seniors are on this team and everything in the last video of the last season in that bowl game after the game was over. And so we had a couple of wide receivers that left on this team, most notably TJ Sheffield, that a couple of defensive guys leave as well and graduate. We didn't have anybody transfer that was important to the team. We didn't have anybody that actually really wanted to transfer. Everybody was, very high chance of persuasion. And there was one player that I tried to persuade that he rejected that and, decided to transfer. And I don't remember who that player is exactly, but he's not like super important to the roster or anything. So, maybe we'll see that when we go into the rosters, but it's not anything big. You didn't miss any big thing in that stage of the offseason. So now we're in offseason recruiting, and this season for the UConn Huskies went super well, 10-3 record, won the Louisiana Bowl, a season that, exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways. And I think this team has a pretty bright future. Next year this is our first batch of recruits that we're going to have come in. And I don't know how many of those guys are going to make an immediate impact. But I think next year, we're looking like we're going to be decent here in a good shape. I mean, we're going to have Nick Evers coming back. He's going to be a little bit better this with the offseason training. We're going to have, a couple of great running backs in Cam Edwards and Victor Rosa returning. Josiah Gatherings is a big wide receiver that I think is going to need to take a step up as well. I think on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to look pretty decent next year. And, obviously we need recruiting here to go well, but I like where this team is at. We're not losing a ton of seniors here, especially not really on the offensive side of the ball. So with that kind of said, we didn't have any draft results or anything. We didn't have anybody drafted. And so with that, I think I was kind of looking at the draft results. I don't think I really want to go through that with you guys here right now. So we're just going to go to the offseason recruiting. We're going to do week 1 of 4 here, and I'll go into this, and we'll see how we've kind of spread out our hours. We have 750 of them, and for as good as the season went for us, recruiting, I mentioned it there at the end of last video, recruiting for us has been a struggle all year long. Only 2 commits. We're the worst ranked class right now at the moment, and so we really need to get some of these players here on our board. We really need to secure some of these guys here. And so this was difficult. This is difficult, and how I was able to spread out my points. And I don't know how this offseason recruiting is going to go, because some of these guys here we're going to see are really tight battles that we were losing going in to the offseason, and we were like losing ground on a couple of these guys that I'm thinking of right now. Obviously, Nolan Waiters, we lost a lot of ground on him. Boston College right now has the lead on him, and I think they're going to be fairly aggressive in this offseason to get him. I don't know how much of a shot we're going to have at getting him. Angel Nash, same thing. I mean, we were first for Angel Nash for a long time in the regular season, and then Florida State kind of came out of nowhere to, just take over this race, and they are in front right now. And, he's a 3-star gem power rusher, so we really want him, but I don't know how likely that's going to be. I mean, both of those guys, week 1 visits for both of them. I mean, I'm trying anything that I can, because I think these guys are going to commit here after this week 1. And I don't know if either one of them are going to actually commit to our school here. And so because of that, because of the unsuccessful recruiting that we had during the regular season, we're going to have to rely on a lot of transfers. And Daniel Mass is a JUCO player, but I added a ton of transfer players onto our board here, and let's just go into the transfer portal, see some of the guys that I brought over or trying to bring over here. We got Brandon Johnson, who was originally from Virginia Tech. He's a 3-star cornerback, and we've offered him a scholarship. I don't know if we have any points on him right now. Well, we'll check that later, but we have Casey Branch from Syracuse, who we played in the regular season. Michigan, Nairi Biggins, played him for Central Michigan. We're trying to get him. Middle Tennessee State, Devontae Smith, put him on our board. We put on Reed Wilford from Charlotte onto our board. We put Braylon McCoy from Akron onto our board. And we also have Davis Heinzen from Central Michigan, Colin Lyons from Akron, Devin Eastern, another guy that was previously on Virginia Tech, going after him. So we're going after a lot of transfers, giving 50 to Waiters and Nash. Ari Anaku is also a guy. He's a guy that we were going after in the regular season. Not sure how much Boston College is going to really want him. They're not going to want him that much. 3-star gem power rusher, and we weren't near his top 3. I think he's going to commit here in the next couple of weeks, so looking good for him. Don Miles, who was a corner or a middle linebacker that we're first for, nobody's offering for him as well. Devin Eastern, no interest for him yet. Either we give him a scholarship, 25 points for him, and unfortunately we weren't able to really scout a whole lot of these players either, just because of how the points shook out. I wanted to give as much points as I could to some of these players. I did scout some of them, though, like this guy, Brandon Johnson here. He would be a transfer sophomore, and we scouted him 100%. He's got good man coverage there, good speed and acceleration, a good agility, change of direction. So he's a good man corner type of archetype there. Andres Bola, this is a guy that we put on to our board. He's a JUCO, but this is a guy that we put on our board in the last few weeks of the season. Here, a free safety from Miami, Florida. So you have Andres Bola. We're going after him right now. Nobody else is going after him. Because Lasso, strong safety, going after him. David Homer, we're first for him. We're about to finally get into his top 5. And then these are some of the other JUCO transfer guys that we're trying to go after here that we haven't actually put points on. We're just putting some scholarships on these players, and then we're going to see where these races go. Because, for example, if Temple or Appalachian State really wants Braylon Moore, they have a head start on us, and they probably will be able to get him. And this is the race that maybe we don't even really try and invest in or put any points in here, because Temple and Appalachian State are just going to be able to take over. And the same thing with Illinois here for Brian McCoy. He's got a lot of influence on Illinois already, so if Illinois wants Brian McCoy, they'll probably get him. Same thing with Davis Hanson, Temple and Appalachian State, same thing there. Same thing with Colin Lyons. I don't know why all the guys that we're trying to go after, or a lot of them here, like in Temple and Appalachian State so much. But Nairi Baggins, free safety, 3-star JUCO here, and we're trying to transfer. And we're in a good spot with them. I think Casey Branch, we're going to be in a good spot. None of these teams have really any influence besides Southern Miss. We can be Southern Miss. They're not that good at all. We're not on the radar of Kenyon Papo here, a kicker, an accurate kicker. But we'll see. And if nobody else really wants him, then I think we'll be able to get him pretty easily. Nicholas Schuler, he's a guy that we actually had on our board for a while in the regular season. I don't know. It doesn't seem very likely to me that Rutgers is just going to suddenly stop going after him. And so we have kind of taken our points away, and maybe we can get Schuler, but that's only if Rutgers does not put anything on him. Same thing with Maxwell Vernon, an athlete guy, kind of looks like more of a quarterback archetype here. And Boston College is right now in first. And then there's a couple of 2-stars. So Buck Hyde is another 2-star player that I'm not really worried about us losing out on. It kind of seems like we're going to lose out on him, but I'm not super worried about that. Donnie Eifert, we're just kind of entering his top 8 here right now. Tyler Travis is a 2-star tight end that I don't think we necessarily need to worry that much about going after. And we have a couple of 1-stars here, which I don't know. The thing with 1-stars, I don't think we're going to ever use these 2 players, but we have offered scholarships to them. They're probably going to commit just because nobody else is going to offer them anything. And DeMonte Smith here, we're kind of looking at whether or not Auburn is going to go after him, because if Auburn is going to offer a scholarship and try and do anything with him, we're not going to be able to beat them. So that's kind of why I'm not putting any points and put a scholarship on Smith. But that's all. We're kind of spreading our points around here for the first week of the recruiting here in the off season. So we'll see what happens here. This is an important week. I think we're gonna get a few commits here. We're gonna get some more points opened up, and we'll see. We just hope, pray that some of these players that we were going after, that we were losing ground on in the regular season, decide to suddenly flip and go for us right now, and do not end up, those other teams that we're going after them at the end of towards the end of the season, kind of stop going after them here in the off season. I don't know how likely that is. I've only done one off season in this in my whole time playing this game, so I don't know how likely that is to happen, but we'll have to see. So we're simulating here, advancing to the next week, saving the dynasty, and it doesn't look like a lot of guys actually fully committed, as you see that recruiting update here. And let's take a look at what this says. Brian Poole, okay, he's basically locked in by one more week, and then we'll be able to get him first for Reed Williford right there. Two other teams have offered him a scholarship. Okay. Two other teams have offered Braylon Johnson a scholarship. And David Homer, we're in his top 5 now. Didn't get a lot of influence on him. Okay, so this is one of the things I was kind of worried if Illinois was going to go after Brian McCoy. It looks like they are. Colin Lyons here, I did offer him a scholarship, but we didn't get a lot on him because it looks like Pitt and Rutgers were actually putting some points onto him. Okay, DeMonte Smith blocked us out because Auburn went after him. That's why I didn't offer him a scholarship. And then Nolan Waiters went to Boston College. Okay, so no commits here. Let's see how many points. We probably don't have a lot. Okay, we have 410 points freed up now for us. And yeah, we're looking good on Reed Wilford here. Nolan Waiters, take him off. Let's finish scouting Reed Wilford just really quick. He's the 170th rated transfer player here. It's going to take us a little bit of points to do this. But he's got good zone coverage there, and that's what his strength is. And decent. I mean, the man is not great, 64, but really good zone coverage. We want him for sure. Let's see what happens. Okay, we've actually taken the lead now for Angel Nash. He was one of the guys that I thought was going to commit. I don't know what. So I mean, we're sending the house on him. We just had a visit. And I don't know, do off-season recruiting visits really do anything for you? Either way, we are first for him now. We didn't move up on his interest rating though, so we'll continue to put 50 points on him. Anaku, we're still first for him here. Okay, Brian Poole is going to commit really, really soon. Don Miles first for him. So Devin Eastern, okay, might be a race we have to pull out of. I mean, Northwestern put a ton of points on him apparently. So if we want to really go after Devin Eastern, I think we're going to have to put 25 on him here. Same thing with Braylon Johnson, probably, it looks like. Bullet will still good there. Still good for Lasso, good for Homer. Okay, so Braylon Moore, I don't think I want to put any points on him. I don't think I'm going to take Braylon Moore off of our board. We have two guys, Western Kentucky, Pitt, really going after him hard. And we did gain some interest, but we're still 5th here after 1 week. I'd rather put my points into somebody else. So we're going to take him off. And I think we're going to take off Brian McCoy as well. Just don't want to really compete with Illinois. Davis Hanson, okay. Wisconsin is going after Hanson hard. If we put points on Hanson, we might be able to get him. We'll see. Same thing with Lions. Okay, so we know a little bit more about his motivations. We know he likes our pro coach procedure. We actually have a lot of good ratings for him, but until I know at least one other thing, I'm not going to try and do a harder soft sell here for him. So we're going to try and battle with some sort of miss here, put some points on the KC branch, right end. So, I mean, we're going to be going after basically all the transfers that I'm putting on our board here. We're going to be going after these guys hard, giving them all 50 points, basically. And at this point, I didn't really know if I wanted Axel Vernon. I mean, He's listed as a quarterback. We don't really need a quarterback. Let's see. Oh, man. It's clear that we're not going to win this race. I'm going to take our points off. Unless I could maybe try and guess at what his last motivation would be. And we can do a sway. Okay, let's try this. Let's try swaying him. And getting one that includes coach prestige and proximity to home. I mean, how much successful is this sway going to be? We have one of those as a D+. I am not really sure how successful this sway is going to be. I think I want to just try it, though. So we're going to try and sway for Colin Lyons there. But I don't know. That this is a race that we probably won't be able to win. I'll keep 50 points on him. Or, well, we can only do 40 points on him, 45 at the max. But we're gonna keep a decent amount of points on him, do the sway, and then if after next week he's still in that same position, then we're going to have to just back out of that race. But, I mean, we've taken first place for a lot of these other guys that we've taken over. Man, Angel Nash, just commit to us already, man. Oh, why is he waiting so long? So, yeah, Nicholas Schuler, I don't know what to do about this race here with Nicholas Schuler. I kind of think we should just back out because as soon as we try to go after Nicholas Schuler here, Boston College is all of a sudden interested in him. Pretty frustrating there, but Anaku, okay, we're still doing well on him. Ryan Poole just can't commit to us apparently still. Jacuz Lasso is in the same boat. I don't know why he won't commit. Andres Bullitt and David Homer are in the same boat, but neither one of those guys are committing. So, I mean, at this point, do I maybe even look for other transfer players to get? Because right now, we're not getting any of these transfers. I mean, we're first for a lot of these transfer players. Okay, so you know what? I would rather go after Jamari Sharp than Nicholas Schuler. So let's see. Let's do this. We're going to take 50 off of Nicholas Schuler because this race is just too confusing. I don't think we're going to win it. I'm kind of done with what he's doing with our team here, and I'm going to instead go after this corner from Miami, Florida, Jamari Sharp. We're going to offer a scholarship to him. We're going to immediately put 50 points on him, try and get him. And he would actually be our best transfer player that we would get if we could get him. And we get Angel Nash. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, I did not really think we were going to be able to get Angel Nash. We fell way behind Florida State for him, but then Florida State just decided to not really go after him in the offseason. So that's a huge win for us. He's a right outside linebacker from Plant City, Florida. That's a big commit. We do get Brian Poole to commit as well. He's from Florida as well. We have a lot of Florida guys that we were even going after in the transfer portal as well, but he's a right end. We got him. Okay, so we got those couple of players. Those are some big commits for us. Keep in mind here, Angel Nash is a JUCO player. Well, let's see what else we got in recruiting. Brian Poole is going to be a freshman. Reed Wilford, we're still in first for him. We're looking pretty good for him. I think we're going to be able to get him right now. Braylon Johnson, yeah, Rutgers is going to get him, I think. I think I'm just going to pull out that race, use my points elsewhere. Getting into Anku's top 3. I mean, this is, okay. So South Carolina has offered him, but I think us giving him a bunch of points made the difference there. Okay, so we finally got a couple more commits. This is the last off-season recruiting week, and we have 185 hours to spend. Okay, oh, wow. Oh, man, Casey Branch. So we're not going to be able to get Casey Branch. He's got a deal breaker with us. And I guess playing time is D- for him, and we need a B+. That's unfortunate that we weren't able to get Casey Branch there, right end that we were going after. And we were going to be able to win that guy if that deal breaker didn't happen for us. So that's unfortunate. I mean, basically everybody on our board is going to get 50 points in this week, I think. Jamari Sharp, we're looking good for him. Devin Eastern, looking good for him. Okay, Wilford, he just had a visit with us. That's going to be close, man. It's going to be close between Memphis. Man, Brandley Johnson. I mean, I guess we keep plugging away. We're going to have the hours to actually do that. To actually continue to go after him. Okay, so all these guys were looking good. Down Miles, nobody's going after him. Oh, boy. Colin Lyons. We'll see. I mean, we're not completely out of this race yet here. We're going to schedule a visit. And We are going to go with proximity to home or coach prestige, either one. For coach prestige. Sounds good. Okay, because Lasso is going to commit here in this week. I mean, I don't think there's no way, right? Now LSU is not going to catch us in 1 week, and I think we're going to be able to get Andre's Bullet too. I mean, I don't. Georgia could maybe catch up in this race if they really want to. Let's actually put 50 on Andre's Bullet here just to make sure Georgia can't somehow come back in this race. And Andre's Bullet at 5'18", he's actually a guy that we're going after. You know, he's not going to be a transfer player. This would be a huge win for us in terms of off-season recruiting if we can get him. Last one, I'm considering putting 50 on him as well. Okay, Nicholas Schuler. Yeah, I'm just not even going to worry about that race. Did we put resources into this race, Maxwell Vernon, try and steal him away from Boston College at the last second? That is an interesting thing that we can do there. Oh man, we're not even in Kenyon Apo's top 8 right now, even though we offered him a scholarship at the beginning of the offseason. Oh man, this would suck because we can't have a 1-star kicker starting for us. Well, if nobody else offers him a scholarship, does he just sign with the team? I actually don't know how this works because nobody else has offered him a scholarship even. So I'm wondering, even though we're not in his top 8 technically, because we're the only team that has offered him a scholarship, is he going to just commit to us because of that reason alone? And that's something I don't know because I never had that experience in this game. But let's try and see. Let's give a scholarship out to this guy as well. We might end up with like 3 kickers in this recruiting class. And now we have 115 hours left. Pretty much too late to go after any other transfers. This is the guys on our board. Let's see. Let's put more points on David Homer just so we can make sure we get him. All right. Well, that's all of our hours spent. So let's see. This recruiting class is not going to be that great, I don't think, no matter really what happens in this final league, even if we get everybody that we were going after. And that's going to be the thing, is we're not going to have a lot of freshmen that we're going to bring into this roster. We're only going to have a few. So that might harm this team a little bit roster-wise in the next couple of seasons, just because, you know, there's going to be a lot of upperclassmen here probably in this roster the next couple of years and not a ton of freshmen. So we'll see, but we're advancing the last week here. And we get Reed Wilford. That's good, from Franklin, Tennessee. Left side linebacker. And we get Devin Eastern from Minnesota. Awesome defensive tackle. Okay, we've won those 2 battles. We got Nari Biggins from Hillside, New Jersey. Free safety. So Davis Hanson went to Wisconsin. Leo Yarby went to Boston College. Braylon Johnson committed to Rutgers. Colin Lyons went to Pitt. But we got Nari Biggins as well. We got Andres Bullet as well. Free safety. He's also a JUCO, though. And Abu, okay, I guess this kicker went to Florida. Even though Florida had not given him anything before that. We got Anku here as well. Don Miles, David Homer. Lions. Okay, we were able to get him, unfortunately, because Lasso, we were able to get him. Nicholas Schuler, no. Okay, so Apo just didn't sign anywhere, I guess. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something here with our kicking situation, because I'm not gonna start a 1-star kicker next year. There's no way. Maxwell Vernon didn't get him, didn't get Eifert, didn't get Ravitz. We did get these 2 guys. And then Leo Yarby went to Boston College. Okay, so we ended up with only 15 signees. And let's see what our class looked like here. It's not going to be that great, I don't think. Okay, so we are the 70th best recruiting class in the nation. 15 total commitments, 13 3-stars. A whole bunch of them transfers. I mean, our top 4 commits are all transfers. So, yeah, not great. I mean, it just did not go our way, really, in the transfer portal. I mean, it went our way in the transfer portal. I think we got a lot of guys in the transfer portal, but regular season recruiting just did not go well for us. So let's see. We didn't get a lot of athletes, but let's see position changes. Looking at our roster here, we got a left tackle situation, which is not very good at all. Danny Angelovich is a senior, but he's only a 57, and these guys are not going to be good enough for where I'm going to be comfortable with them starting. So in that case, we're going to move Thad Burns over. So he's going to be moving over there to left tackle. He's going to be a 67 overall, and this is before off-season training results, so he's going to be even a little bit better than that once the season starts. And then center, Jay Kiernan. I mean, he's not a starter. He's a 57 overall player here, so we look at Mike Wilson, our right guard, or backup right guard, to Ben Borowski, and so we're going to make him our starting center now, and he's going to be, well, not Ben Borowski, we're not going to move him, but we're going to move Wilson, and we're going to change him to be a center. He's going to be a 67 center, and again, that's before training results here. But I think other than that, I didn't see any other roster moves or changing positions that I wanted to do. And yeah, I mean, this team is a lot of upperclassmen now at this point here in this season. I think we're seeing that right now. They're just kind of going through the roster. And again, I'll go through the roster before we start the season and everything too. But right end is Quincy Bryan. Let's see if we can maybe get somebody else in there to be a better right end. I think we're also going to change Curvin Schutz's position here. He's a power rusher defensive tackle, but we got Devin Eastern, I believe, at this position, right? We got Devin Eastern, who's 78 overall. He's going to be starting for us here at defensive tackle. And you look at right end, and Quincy Bryan is okay, but I don't really like him all that much. So we're going to, Schutz is going to get better here. So we're going to move Schutte over to right end, and he's going to be starting right end here for us at a 70 overall, 72 with some boosts. So I think that's going to do it for position changes for us here. And we are now an 83 overall school after some off-season training and everything. So this will be interesting. Let's see what our roster looks like. We have 30 points now. So what is our highest rated player? We go into this season, Darrell Robinson. Wow, he took a huge step up. Darrell Robinson is our highest rated player. I did not expect that. Darrell Robinson was he was a freshman last year for us. Let's look at his player card here. I mean, he's got impact development trait, I guess, so it kind of makes sense why he would develop really quickly, but he's got some, I mean, his cap's really, really good. Oh man, how do we get this guy into the offense a little bit more as we look at his stats? I mean, last year he was, backed up by, he was behind Victor Rosa and Cam Edwards all year. He only got 6 carries, only got 2 touchdowns, had a receiving touchdown as well, 42 yards receiving with only 3 catches. So he really didn't play that big of a role in our offense last season. We used him kind of sparingly, but man, he is, and this is with no boosts to his overall here. You got Julian Simone, who is our second best rated player here. He's a senior, but he has got some boosts. Only +1, but he does have those boosts. So Darrell Robinson, man, he took a huge step up in development. And, well, we'll look at him. We'll look at that position later. But he might be our best rated running back now, actually, this season, which is going to be really interesting. Nick Evers, he goes up from a 77 overall to an 82 overall here. And he's a junior now, so we have a couple more seasons with him. And let's see, I mean, he's got a star development, so he develops pretty well. He's a 4-star guy. He's got really good caps. Yeah, Nick Evers is going to be a pretty good quarterback for us, in his senior year. And next year, I think he's going to be an 85, 86 overall quarterback. Really like where his accuracies are at now. I mean, all of these accuracies are pretty good here. For the most part, 85, 86 on the short throw and 85 on the medium throw accuracy. His throw power is good. Got a little bit quicker here. He's not like a super athletic quarterback or anything, but he's got enough speed that he can break out of the pocket whenever he needs to. I was running the ball with him a little bit this season. Cole Welliver, he's a freshman. He went up a decent amount here. And, he's going to be probably the starter after all of his caps and accuracy, not a ton, but he doesn't look that bad. He does look a little bit slower than Nick Evers, though. But, I mean, both of these guys, I don't think McDonald's probably not going to be starting at all for us. But unless we get somebody better, with recruiting, Cool, we're probably going to be stepping into that role for us and being our quarterback here in a couple of years. But, yeah, what happened at this running back position is very, very interesting now because Darrell Robinson moves it back. He's now our highest rated running back. Cam Edwards and Victor Rosa, they did not develop very much at all. I don't even really think they got a whole lot better. Maybe they improved by +1 or something. I mean, they only have normal development. This is crazy. I really thought Cam Edwards, not like he's capped out or anything here. Cam Edwards just did not develop in the offseason. He did not do a lot of offseason development, which is surprising because, I mean, his season this year was awesome. He had 20 touchdowns, led the whole entire nation in touchdowns. I had, 1,246 running yards. So, what do? I don't know. Does Cam Edwards, I think you got to give Cam Edwards the starting job at running back here. I think you have to give that to him because he's the senior and he had an amazing season last year. But, man, that is really interesting now. And then you have Victor Rosa, who's right behind him. He didn't really develop either that much, but he was an awesome receiver for us last year. That's where, he made more of his impact, and I think that's where he's going to make a lot of his impact again this year. He had his 622 yards rushing, which is pretty good, but he had almost 1,000 yards receiving. So he's going to be a, receiving back for us. We're going to use him on a lot of screens and that type of stuff. But, man, Darrell Robinson definitely going to have a much better and a much more significant impact on our offense for us. That is really surprising. I did not expect Darrell Robinson to end up being better than Edwards and Rosa here in this offseason. That is really an interesting development. Jamal Porter is now our leading wide receiver. We didn't use Jamal Porter that much. I don't even really remember throwing it to him at all last year, but he's got star development. He's only a sophomore, and he's got good running. He's quick, 92 speed, 91 acceleration. I really like those fast receivers here. He's got decent catching, really good spec catch. He's a, let's see, what it is. He's a deep threat archetype. Did I even throw it to him last year at all? I threw it to him twice last season. Wow, okay. He's now our best wide receiver there, Josiah Gatherings. His senior year didn't really develop much. He only went up by +2, I think, there. Skylar Bell went up a decent amount. I think it was like a 72. He's now a 76. Zadrick Duarte, we didn't use him at all. He's going to be the number 4 wide receiver. Then everybody else behind him here, I don't know how much we're going to see some of these guys. Mitch Stroji here. Can we look at his caps? I don't think we can look at his caps until the regular season starts, actually. But he's a 66 guy. I think he's going to be a guy that we'll use in our future. Probably will redshirt him for sure. Lewis Hansen didn't seem to develop that much. He's still in a 77. Alex Hollings. We have 3 senior tight ends right here. It's kind of unfortunate because I don't think we're going to use Taylor, probably even Hoeing that much on this offense. But look at our left tackle situation. So Danny Olcevich might have been a transfer for us. That's why he didn't go up at all. So yeah, our left tackles aren't great here. Right now, left guard Wes Ho went up to 77 overall. That's good. Mike Wilson went to 75. Okay, this guy. Okay, Jake Kiernan, though, actually developed, really good in this offseason. He's a 74 now. Okay, interesting. I don't think I could do position. That's wild. How did he develop that much when he's a 1-star high school recruit with normal development? Okay, that's really interesting. He doesn't look like his caps are that great, but yeah, he developed a lot. Ben Morowski is up to a 76. Dane Bass is at a 74. Johnson is 73. Bryce Yates is at a 79. Cheeto Cole, 76. I moved him to the different position, but maybe I did. Quincy Bryan, he went up a lot. Okay, so I did move Cheeto to the starting right end, but he didn't actually end up developing over Quincy Bryan, who is a 78. Okay, he wasn't starting. We didn't use him that much last year, but he developed pretty well. He's actually one of our highest rated defensive players now. Timothy Passmore Jr. is 78 now. Okay, there's Weird Williford, which is a guy that we got in the transfer portal here, and we're only going to have him for 1 year because he's a senior. But he's a 77. Overall, really good pass coverage here with the zone. His zone coverage is really good. Kind of looked at his stats already, I feel like, though. Then a linebacker for us, we have an with Miles here, 68 and 64. Julian Simone is also one of our higher rated guys, and he was really good last year for us. He's going to be our defensive superstar here, and this is going to be his final year. I mean, amazing hit power. I mean, his strength is awesome, too. Looking at his stats last year, he had 8.5 sacks for us, so he's going to be the leading guy to go to for us on defense. Really like where he's at right now. Damone Brinson is an 80 overall senior. Doing right, 78. I think our backfield, our corners look pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. Free safeties here. Our safeties are okay. It looks like Lee Monte, the 30, is going to be a senior. He's up to a 76. Spears at a 76. Lasso 70. I already mentioned that, but he looks really good. And yeah, I mean, 69 kick power for Doug Armour. I don't know what I really want to do with that because Connor Stutz is our punter. We didn't get a punter in the offseason. I mean, we might have to be stuck with using Doug Armour this year, which is going to be kind of sucky. Going to kind of get in our way. I don't know. We might not have a lot of confidence kicking field goals this year. His kick accuracy is only sitting at 64, so it's a little tough, but those are the results of the training here. Okay, so now we're to the off season, and one thing that we want to do before we actually start the season here, we want to move UMass to the MAC. Actually, I'm gonna wait to do the coaching skills until we get to the preseason recruiting, and then we can see what positions we need. I like doing that just so I can spend my points a lot more wisely here. But, overall, the offseason wasn't really that bad, and we are number 19 in the nation to start 2025 here. And I don't know if that's going to change as we go into the regular season. We actually went up in terms of our rating in the nation. We were 23rd before, and we simulated that, and now we're 19th. So we will start the season ranked, which will be interesting. We'll see how long that will last. But, yeah, we got to set up our recruiting board. Okay, let's just take a look. What positions do we need here? Team needs, and it's basically every position now. Oh boy. Wow, okay, so we have 10. I mean, we have 30. How many seniors do we got? We have 26. We have 26 seniors, and we have 23 sophomores. Okay. 26 seniors is kind of a lot. I mean, that's pretty much every single offensive position that we're going to need to go after. And then defense, everybody on defense except for left and right end. And I am going to go after, we do need to go after a punter, but I am going to go after a kicker as well. It says that we have Mbu on our roster. I don't think that's true. I don't know why it's saying that we have him on our roster. Let's look at our roster. Do we actually have Mbu on our roster? Oh, we do. Okay, so we're not actually going to use Armour. We have JJ Mbu. I didn't think he committed to us, but either way, he's a lot better than Armour is going to be. He's got 75 kick power, which isn't like insane or anything, but it is a little bit better than Armour's, and his accuracy is way, way better. So, okay, so we're going to use Mbu here. He's going to be our starting kicker. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the preseason top 25. There's a district list, but I will leave it off here. That's the off season for you guys. Wanted to do a little bit something different. Wanted to just kind of do it as I was going through it instead of, this is going to help me with editing a lot. And so with that, well, actually, let me see. Let's upgrade our coaching skill tree here. And let's see. Maybe we're going to try. I mean, I put quite a bit in tactician here. We have 30 for tactician. Maybe we want to help the defensive line a little bit. The defensive or the offensive line. We should probably do that here. We should probably upgrade our linebackers, both defensive and both our defensive line and our linebackers overall in general. And then okay, we do want to be able to scout people in a little less time. So I think we're just gonna at least get that started on all these positions, just so we don't have to worry about taking 30 points to scout everybody, and that is going to use up all of our. It's going to use up all of our points here. So that's what we're going to do, and now we can scout every single position. It's going to take a lot less time for us to scout all these positions except for kickers and punters, which we don't really need to. You don't really need to scout kickers and punters that much in this game. And then we poured some more into tactician for our linebackers. So that's what it here with our coaching skills, and that is going to do it here for us. I mean, schedules. We can customize our schedule. I might do that off screen though, and show you guys what my schedule looks like. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I don't really know a lot of the teams I'm going to want to put on the schedule here this year. But we'll do that, and I'll show you the custom schedule. We'll show you what we do in our recruiting board, and we will start the year here in U2. The offseason is over. Thank you guys so much for watching this here. And we'll get on with, I'll include the preseason stuff in the offseason video, but this will be me signing off for the offseason, and I'll come back to you guys with what I did in the preseason here. But this is an interesting way to do this. I think this is what I'm going to do when I talk about like the end of the season for MLB The Show and stuff like that. But either way, thank you guys for listening to me here, and I'll come back to you with the preseason, what I did there. Okay, so we are here in preseason recruiting or off-season recruiting. I think that this is preseason recruiting right now. And we're just looking at a board, and I have 35 players on it here. And just kind of thinking through how to spend my points. I have 625 hours right now here in this, preseason week. And what can I do in here? I have 5 4-star players on my board right now. And what I think I'm going to do here with these 4 stars is, 4-star player, even if they're a bust, they're still going to be good enough that I'm going to want to get them, and I'm going to want to add them to my team. But as you can see, a lot of these players, they have interest from, schools like Penn State and Ohio State. So, that includes guys like Kane Delos here, Chet Freets, Quincy Ohalate here. He's got Penn State and Rutgers, Mike Pan, and Shaq Fine. I mean, all these guys have Penn State at least in their top 5, and Ohio State is in there for a lot of these other players too. And so what I'm going to do with these guys right now is, I'm going to offer these guys scholarships, and I'm going to see where these battles go. Because if Ohio State or Penn State chooses to actually go after them and put scholarships on them, put a bunch of points on them, then I don't think I'm going to be able to compete. UConn's not probably going to be able to compete with those schools. So, but I know that I want these players here, and so we're just going to offer these guys scholarships, scout them later on, if we have a chance at potentially getting them, and then see where these battles go. I definitely want to scout a lot of these 3-star guys that we've added to our board, though, because I don't really know if I want to go after 3-star busts in this season. And just a reminder of where our team is at. I mean, almost every position is a need for us right now. We have a lot of upperclassmen. We only have 11 seniors right now on the team, or 26. We have 26 total seniors on the team. So that's a lot. That's a pretty big recruiting class, or a class that's leaving at the very least. And so, a lot of needs for us. 2 quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a wide receiver, tight end, left tackle, 3 left guards, because we have Wes Ho, who's a senior, then Curtis, who is a freshman. He'll start next year, but we need a couple of backups there. And then we need a right guard. And then a lot of our defense. I mean, the only position we don't need right now is left end and right end. And, part of this was because of so many transfers that we got in the transfer portal. There was a lot of upperclassmen. We only have 17 freshmen total on the team. So, besides juniors, we only have 12 juniors on the team right now. But freshmen, we don't have a ton of those right now, and we're going to have to get a lot of players on defense here. And this is where most of our, recruits and most of our transfer players came in from the transfer portal. We got 3 defensive tackles, 4 outside linebackers, 4 middle linebackers, a couple of right outside linebackers, 4 corners, a free safety, short safety. So, yeah, a ton of needs there on the defensive side of the ball for sure. And we do need a punter this year as well. Connor Stutz, I think his first name is Connor, but Stutz is going to be graduating. So a lot of players that we are going to need here. And, 34 is what we need in total. We're not going to get 34 commits in this recruiting class. I mean, that's next to impossible to get every single guy except for one that you go after. So we're going to be pretty underwhelming. We're going to be under that for sure, but we just got to get as many commits as we possibly can this year here, just so we can, have a team and be in good shape for the season after that. And so we're going to be going after pretty much all these guys, at least here initially. So one guy that I do want to scout here immediately right now, first for him, is Greg Landovi. He's from New Jersey. So let's see, and I can scout all these guys. It's not going to take too many points here. It's only going to take me 30. Scout these players, and Greg Landovi is a bust, which is unfortunate. And he's a run stopper tendency. I don't know if I'm going to put any points on him. That does kind of hurt my chances of putting points on him. I'm glad that I scouted him. I will not put points on him at the moment. We'll see what other players we can get here and scout and everything like that. We're not in first for like a ton of players here in terms of interest, as you can kind of see. We're really not in a position for a lot of these players here. I think, see how many guys we're actually in first for right now at the moment, and we got a couple of guys down here that we're first for. Greg Hand, Paul Slovis, Thrasher, and Ari Bainavulu. There, we're first for him. So we're first for a few of these guys. We'll have to see. This will be interesting to see how these battles shake out for us. So in quarterbacks, we're looking at Vernon Bayer, who's an improviser. We're looking at Ethan Emerson, who's a scrambler, and then Nick Bettino there, who's also a scrambler. So let's look at Vernon Bayer here as the improviser quarterback. And he is a gem. Okay, that's a really good scouting report there. Good throw power, good deep accuracy, good throw onto the run and under pressure. I really like him. He's not super fast, 81 speed, 82 agility there, but I really like his throwing stats. I'm definitely going to offer a scholarship for him, and we might put points on him at the end of this week because he looks like a great quarterback for us. I do want to scout probably one of these 2 scramblers. They're pretty close in terms of the national rankings for both of them. Here, let's scout Ethan Emerson, see what he's all about. He's from West Orange, New Jersey, 80 throw power. Okay, he's got good speed and acceleration. Okay, so not a bust, not a gem, though either. And, 77 medium accuracy. I mean, Vernon Bayer is the better quarterback pretty much all around except for the speed and the acceleration. You look at Emerson and he's got decent throwing stats here, but I like Vernon Bayer much more, and he's going to be the main quarterback that we'll go after here, at least initially in this recruiting class. And then running back, we need 2 of them here. We have Edwards and Victor Rosa, but those are both going to be seniors. Robinson, he's only a sophomore, so I don't know. Halfback is a need for us, but I don't think it's a super pressing one at the moment. We are going to need a tight end. Hansen is a senior, we have 3 senior tight ends right now, so this is definitely going to be a position of need. Let's scout Richard Armador here as a tight end. Decent catching. He's a vertical threat tight end. Okay. Decent agility. I like where Armador is at. We're going to give him a scholarship as well. And then let's see. Kingsbury is a lot lower rated nationally, so you think that he's not going to be as good as Armador here. He's not a bust or a gem or anything. They're both vertical threats, so we can compare their stats, right next to each other here. And so they're both pretty similar. I mean, there's not really much of a difference here. He's got better spec catch, Kingsbury does, but other than that, I mean, those two players are so similar. We'll give a scholarship to Kingsbury as well and see how these races develop. Because again, Penn State, if they really want Armador, I don't think we're going to be able to compete with them for him right now. Okay, so we want to look at O'Halida. We already have offered him a scholarship, actually. We got Lawrence Abushi, who is a JUCO junior player. Let's see. Let's scout him. Let's see what he is about here. And he is a bust, unfortunately. Power player here. His strength is decent. His impact blocking is pretty good. I don't know. I still think I might offer him a scholarship. And especially because I don't know how the battle for Latte is going to go. So we are going to offer Ibushi a scholarship here and see, because again, can we get Quincy Latte? Probably, but it's not a guarantee with the 4-star guy with the teams that are around him. Right now, it's not a guarantee that we're going to be able to get him. Okay, let's scout some linebackers, because linebacker is definitely a position of need for us. So we got George Martino from the Colony in Texas. It's an interesting name for state. Now, this is going to take more points for us. Ooh, I did not realize that. I thought, okay, we are only level 10 in this game, but I thought I upgraded everybody's scouting hours to make it easier for us to scout, and that's unfortunate. He's a bust, too. So, man, we just spent a lot of time trying to scout him, and yeah, that is tough. He's a pass coverage guy. His zone is okay. His tackling is not great, though. Don't really like where his tackling is at. Ooh, that's tough. I will offer him a scholarship, but that's going to limit our ability to be able to kind of go after these linebackers, because it's going to take a long time for us to be able to scout these players. So we'll see. Is that for all of the linebackers? Is that going to be for middle linebacker as well? Let's see. We got Blake Risner here, or Reisner. Yeah, it's going to be for all the linebackers. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have looked at upgrading that before the season started. That is 60 points that we were spending when we scout those players. I do like Reisner, though, here. He looks pretty good as a run stopper. We're going to offer a scholarship to him. So let's scout Zach Van Buren here. He's a slot corner from Perry, Florida. And this is not going to take us too long. Okay, he's decent, man. His coverage stats aren't amazing here. He's got decent speed, decent acceleration. Change of direction is okay. And right now we're third for him. So let's offer him a scholarship, though, see where this race takes us. And we're also looking at some free safeties here. So let's scout at least one of these players. Let's scout Steven Spitz from New Jersey. And he's going to be a bust. Yikes. Okay. Let's see. Let's scout Rob Douglas next. And he's going to be a gem. Okay, well, that's good. So we get a bust and a gem right back to back. Really good zone coverage. They're at 77 already. I like that a lot. So we're definitely going to offer Rob Douglas a scholarship. And let's see. I mean, we do need a lot of safeties, or do we need a lot of safeties? We only need one. But we also need 2 strong safeties as well. And he is also a bust. That is really tough. I mean, 2 of the safeties that we're trying to go after are busts. Yikes. I mean, his zone is not too terrible. Ah, man, I think I'm going to still offer him a scholarship, though. I think I'll offer the other free safety. Yeah, I think I'll offer Spitz a scholarship, too. I mean, these players, that definitely hurts their potential, and they might not be very good, like, development-wise, but I think we just need to make some ground with some of these players. And now we need to try and figure out how we're going to scout all these linebackers that we have, because, man, we need linebackers this season. But we're not going to be able to scout a ton of them here. Scout Bobby Rolden. Pass coverage. Oh, man, I need to upgrade that as soon as I possibly can. He's decent zone there. Okay, he is a gem. That's good to know. 88 speed. Definitely offer him a scholarship for sure. But now we only have 95 hours left, so we realistically only have hours to scout like a couple more linebackers maybe, and then give some points to some players. I kind of want to give some points to some players as well here early on, but the points and the scouting of these linebackers is going to limit that, I think. So we're looking at it here. I think I'm going to decide to scout one more linebacker, potentially give him a scholarship, but then find a guy that I really like that I'm going to put points on. That's what I'm going to do here, at least in this preseason stage. So DJ Moya, we're going to scout him. That will take us down to 45 points, and he's not a bust or a gem either, so okay, he looks decent. We'll give him a scholarship. Now we have 40 points to work with. Who do I want to give 40 points to? Let's see, I'll come back to you guys when I figure that out. Well, so I was looking at it here. We go to the running back position here, and I just was thinking we got to maybe scout Justin Wade, and this might leave us with some points here. I'm not actually sure. I think it'll leave us with... No, this will take all the rest of our points away, but let's scout Justin Wade. We're going to have maybe like 5 left. And I do like Justin Wade. He's got good speed, decent acceleration there, decent strength, power back from New York, and decent carrying. So I'm going to offer Justin Wade a scholarship here. That is going to bring us all the way down to 5 points. With that 5 points, I don't know. I mean, not going to make much of a difference. Let's just give it to Vernon Bear. And never mind, I can't do that because he's not in our top 8, apparently. So maybe I can't do any actions on any players, so maybe doesn't matter. Okay, so now we got to maybe decide another guy to get a scholarship to. We can't even scout anybody at this point here, because we don't have 10 points, so we're going to have to maybe shoot in the dark, give somebody else a scholarship. Let's see about these guys that we scouted that were bust. Maybe we need to give one of these 2 players a scholarship then. So with my 5 points remaining, we're going to give a scholarship to Greg Lenovi here. He is a bust, but I mean, he's 478th in the nation. He's going to be an okay player probably. I think that will just hamper what his ceiling is going to be. He might not be a very good player in terms of his development, impact, that sort of thing. But that is all of our points here, at least in this initial stage of preseason recruiting. So we'll go and move on, but before we do that, let me take you through the schedule that we're going to have here in this season. I want to make this schedule a bit harder than it was last year. I felt like our schedule last year wasn't all that super difficult, and we kind of overachieved last season. So this is what our schedule is going to look like here. We're going to start at home against FIU, who was 10-4 last year. We'll get there eventually with our FIU dynasty. We'll get to a 10-4 season at some point. It might just take us a couple of years. And then we'll play Marshall on the road. Marshall 5-7 last year. So the first 2 games, I mean, these are going to be winnable games for us for sure. And then we're going to go to play at Missouri here, my alma mater, the team I am going to right now. I mean, they're 11-3. They were 11-3 last year, 7-1 in a very good SEC. They lost in the college football playoff in the first year of the sim. So that's going to be a tough game. We have a bye week, and then we go to play Purdue. We're at home on this for this one. 5-7 Purdue was last year, 2-7 in the conference. Really struggled in that department. And then we'll play what is going to end up being probably maybe our highest ranked game or our highest ranked opponent of our season, and that's Florida at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. So we're going to be in Gainesville for this matchup. Florida 10-4 last year, 7-1 in the conference. They made it to the college football playoff. They had a crazy good season last year. I don't know how good they're expected to be this season. They're probably expected to be. I mean, this is an SEC school, so they're going to be good. And then we'll play Cal, who had the same record as us last year. Actually, they finished 12th in the nation. They had a really good overachieving season. I see it. I mean, maybe it isn't overachieving. We'll see what they do this year. But this is really the only time that I've seen Cal do this good. And in real life, they didn't do all that great. And they're going to be probably around the same overall as us. So that's going to be a tough game, but a winnable one. And then we kind of take a break from these ranked opponents. Play Rice, 5-6 last year, but not a very good team. They'll play Arkansas State at home. They're 4-8 last year, 2-6 in their conference. And then we'll put put another team that is ranked right now on our schedule. I don't know if they're going to be ranked by the time we play them in the regular season, and that's Michigan State. They were 7-6. I'm kind of surprised they actually finished ranked with the 7-6 record, but I guess they were put there at number 21, at least in the preseason. They'll take on UAB, and this is one of the 3 teams that beat us last season. They were 9-4 last year overall. They lost in their bowl game that they played, but that was a fun game last year for us. We lost by 10, so we're going to get a rematch. We're going to be at home this time in that one. And then we'll go on the road to play SMU, who, has some talent for sure. They were 5-7 last year, though. That's going to be a pretty decently tough game. And then we have a bye, and then we'll play UMass, this rivalry that we won by 3 points last season. That'll be our final game of the year, and then a bye, and then the Army-Navy week. So that's what our schedule looks like, and overall, this is a much better schedule here. Right now, there's 4 ranked teams on this schedule. Again, Michigan State, who knows whether they're going to be ranked by the time we played them. That's really late in the season, but 4 ranked teams, an FIU team that played really well last year. I mean, Marshall, Purdue, Purdue's going to be not a pushover. Marshall, Rice, Arkansas State, I see those as the 3 easiest games of the season here. UMass, it's a rivalry game, so they might give us a little bit of a test, but we were able to beat them fairly easily last year. So, I mean, I think those games are games that we definitely should be able to win, and we just got to play good this season. Got to be able to maybe we can get a top 25 upset. I mean, we're at 19th in the nation right now, so it actually wouldn't be an upset, really, in terms of the rankings for us to beat Missouri, who's only 3 ahead of us right now. But I would consider that an upset because just UConn historically, I mean, this is last year one of our best seasons historically in UConn program history. I would consider that an upset because Missouri's an SEC school, we're an independent, and so that's what our schedule looks like. It doesn't give you a grade. I know in the NCAA 14 games they gave you a grade on how tough your schedule was. It doesn't do that in this game, but that schedule was a lot harder. I know that it's going to be harder than it was last year for us, so that should give me a challenge, and that should that's going to be the proving ground if we're actually, if we overachieved last year or not. We'll have to see, but that's our schedule. That's the preseason. Let's go into week 1 here, and we have a game on week 1 this year, so we won't hop into that game right away, but we'll see what happens here with our recruiting. And before we do that and everything, we have 500 hours. Okay, so let's see. It looks, everybody's offering him a scholarship right now. Penn State looks like they're kind of going after him a bit harder than everybody else. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in this race, but I think I might as well put 50 points on him just to see whether or not we can keep pace with some of these teams. And actually, our grades over there are pretty good. A- on coach stability, A- on coach prestige, A on conference prestige somehow, even though we're an independent school, A+ on playing time, A+ proximity to home. So I have a chance to, hard sell this guy later on in the year and make a good pitch to him. So Connor Fritz, again, similar situation here. I think I'm going to be putting 50 into all these 4 stars, even if we might not, even though it might not be super realistic to be able to get some of these guys, but we got to at least try with these players. Because of that, I don't think I'm going to be scouting any of them yet here. But yeah, I don't think we're, who knows? Who knows how these races are going to go? Are we going to actually be able to catch up to Penn State? Now, this is a player we're, 5th for him right now, and, we're top 3 for these other players. Shaq Fine, I might not put 50 points on him at the moment, just because of, where we are in that race. But we have 300 points left to play with here. I'm going to kind of go through these players and divvy up the points as I see fit. Okay, so we scout Christian Garrett here, left guard from Illinois, and he is a gem. That's really good news. Wow, 92 strength. That's an awesome stat immediately. 88 impact blocking. Okay, this guy's got some really interesting stats here and interesting play set, and he's got some abilities already, so I like Christian Garrett a lot. We're going to definitely offer a scholarship. We're going to maybe put some points onto him, but that's a good player for us, and I feel like we probably need to scout some of these other linebackers here. And I mean, almost all of them had at least one team offer a scholarship. Thrasher did not have anybody offer him a scholarship. But we offered a scholarship to Reisner and Moya. We probably have to, probably have to put some points into one of these into one of these linebackers as well. But let's scout Elliott Gee here, another middle linebacker. He's from Indiana. Oh man, it just so many points to spend on that, and he is going to be a bust. That's tough. I mean, we just need middle linebackers though. We need 4 of them. So I just think we're going to have to bite the bullet a little bit. And in a normal season with not as many seniors as we have, I don't think I would want to really go after Gee, but I think I'm going to do it here because of just where we are in our position with linebackers and needing them so badly. And again, some of these guys, I probably wouldn't scout as many, but we just have to determine which guys we want to go after here in these linebacker battles. So we're going to scout some of these guys, most of our points is going to have to go into scouting these players. And another bust. So scouting is not going well here for these linebackers, man. I mean, Bobby Dolan was a gem, but George Martino was a bust. And Elliott Gee is also a bust. And I really think Bobby Woolden here, we got to put points onto him. We got to try and go after him here. 3-star gem. We're sending the house on Bobby Woolden here behind Rutgers. Going to try to get him. But now we only have 110 points. And now I'm wondering, do we really go after Gatto or not? Let's see. Greg Hand. I mean, none of those teams are very scary. I think we can beat all those teams in the battles and recruiting battles. So I have to question whether or not it's going to be worth it for us to scout a guy like Greg Hand here at this point, or maybe wait a week or something. But man, 110 points. Hours left. Let's see how I spend them here. DJ Moya, I'm definitely considering putting some points on to DJ Moya right now. Second behind Maryland at the moment, and he looks like a pretty decent player. We're going to put some points on to DJ Moya right now. Let's see. Do we want to put 30, 35 on Moya? Let's put 30 points on Moya for right now. See how really, truly hard Maryland's going to go after him. Now we have 80 points or 80 hours left. And look at these free safeties too. I mean, we put 50 points on Mike Pan, but I think I'm going to put some points on Rob Douglas as well. He's a gem. 3-star gem from New York. I really like where his skill set is. So we're going to put at least 30 on Rob Douglas as well. Right now we're behind Buffalo and Rutgers. We'll see. Rutgers might have a bit of an edge on us for Douglas, but we're going to at least try and see what we can do in this battle. So we have 45 points left here. I'm gonna scout Matthew Hart and see what he's about. And we only have 15 left, and Hart's also a gem. Okay. So both Christian Garrett and Matthew Hart are really good players here. Both have absolutely excellent strength. Yeah, Christian Garrett is a better run blocker, it looks like, but Matthew Hart is a better pass blocker. And 88 impact block for Christian Garrett is really good. I like Matthew Hart a lot for sure, too. Let's try to get him. And, UMass is going after him, but, we're going to be able to beat UMass for him. So we have 10 points left. And at this point, I think I want to put 10 points on one of these 2 players here. Let's put it on Matthew Hart because nobody else has offered anything to Garrett yet. I don't know, 10 points won't really do us a lot, but we're going to have a lot more points to work with in the next weeks. So we have our board kind of filling out now at this point. Okay, so that's going to do it for us in week 1 recruiting here. FIU is on our schedule here. What are they overall wise? They are an 80. So this might be a little bit of a tough game here between Florida International and UConn. That's going to be the first game of the season, and that will be coming out shortly. So that was the offseason and the preseason recruiting stuff for this UConn Offensive Coordinator Dynasty week, or season 2 will begin shortly, and I'll come out with that here in a bit. We just had, the FIU offseason, and we'll get to the UConn offseason as well. Then we'll get back. We'll probably start the FIU regular season next time on this channel, but Thank you guys so much for listening here and watching this one. I will see all you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody, and God bless.